Cinderella has now outpaced not only Summer Niece, but Modernia as well. Massive damage. Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video. I am still doing some live testing here, and I'm in the shooting range, and I put together a team with Cinderella just to see how she compares with some other units. So we have Rouge, which is probably the single best support for Cinderella with the HP buff. She also gives us great cooldown reduction, which chat managed to totally throw me off with that a second ago. If you know, you know. And then Crown, which is just a fantastic burst 2 for any situation. And then I have her comparing damage with Summer and Niece, because I could see her potentially actually being on the same team in a raid situation. They are both electric units. Summer Niece doesn't have as much of an obvious like quick reload squad as she used to. And she's just a very, very strong unit, even without being a pilgrim. And then, of course, Modernia is kind of a benchmark for any unit. Now, I am going to do 3 phases to this testing. And our first phase here is a very low investment Cinderella. So I have a level 5 helmet and chest, but no overloads. And then I have equipped her with a doll and the charge damage cube, which is probably the best one for her. Maybe the resilience cube, just because it's good for everybody. And then I have all of her skills at level 4. The next phase will be then actually maxing out her affection to see just how big of a difference duplicates make, if any. And then I will max out her skills as well. Or rather, I will do the reverse order of that. I will max out her skills and then go ahead and max out her affection to see if that makes a difference, to see if pulling more copies of her really is worth it other than going for the wallpaper. So I'll cut it just so you guys don't have to watch the entire battles for 3 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and start this first phase of our testing. Dude, she has a quick reload even without the resilience cube, and the fact that she charges up and then uses her entire clip kind of makes the resilience cube probably not that good a value, honestly, because she's not even reloading that often, you know? Okay, so we're coming up to the end of this first batch. Let's go ahead and see the results. Now, a reminder, this is the low investment. So let's see what this looks like. Wow, okay. Even at low investment, hugely outperformed Summer Niece. That's crazy. So my Summer Niece has max 10-10-10 skills, full overloads, full affection. She's max limit break, and Cinderella just destroyed her. Not only that, Niece is also getting a reload buff from Crown. Cinderella just slightly behind Modernia in damage. Orifly just gifted 5 Cultured Student memberships to viewers. Thank you so much, Orifly, getting in the YouTube video. I appreciate the support. Okay, anyway, so Cinderella's looking great already. We're going to get notifications coming in here for memberships. So now I'm going to go ahead and level up her skills and see how big of a difference that makes. Okay, so here we are on testing round 2. This time I have increased her skills all the way to level 10 on all 3 of them, and then I've also overloaded 2 of her pieces of equipment. Unfortunately, they're not really optimized. I did get a couple lines of attack and then charge damage, but max ammo I think is really, really important. Elemental damage is also good, although in this particular test I set it up so we do not have elemental damage on any of these units, just to try and make things as fair as possible. So we're coming towards the end, and we'll see what we got. On the previous test, we got a total of 1.984, and this time we are getting, 2.329. That is a big increase. Okay, so clearly the skill levels made a big difference. I mean, an increase of basically 0.4 billion is pretty high. Let's take a look at the individual stats. Cinderella has now outpaced not only Summer Niece, but Modernia as well. Now, to be fair, Modernia isn't getting the burst here, and we're fighting ads. So in theory, Modernia would be doing better than if she was in the burst slot than Summer Niece, but that is crazy. Cinderella is putting out massive damage. Okay, so really quick, before, like, we got 2 more tests to do. The next test is going to be, I'm going to max out her affection level, so we'll see if the copies really made a big difference. And then I will do a test against the boss to see how she compares against Modernia and Summer Niece in a one-on-one boss fight. That damage is wild. Alright, we are on round 3 of our testing, and this time I have increased her affection to maximum level of 40 to see if we're really getting value out of those extra copies, if it's really worth max limit breaking. I mean, she's probably worth it anyway, just so you can get her in the lobby and flex that. She looks amazing, but I'm expecting, honestly, a very small increase, because generally the stats you get are relatively small when you take gear into consideration, or like the buffs that she's getting from Rouge here. So, overall damage is not super impressive. Let me go back and just double check where our damage was before. Yes, this is actually lower damage. Now, of course, there's RNG here, okay? But let's go ahead and see what her individual damage is. A very marginal increase, I think. Let me double check. Almost identical, actually. Almost identical. 904 damage. I mean, 904 million damage. Okay, so, again, RNG here. But the fact that we actually got a lower overall score and Cinderella's damage this time is very equal does not seem to show that this is going to be worth limit breaking her from a pure power perspective. Now, of course, if we did multiple tests, if I did this like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, 20 times, like, I'm positive that we would see an average increase in damage over not increasing her affection levels and getting all those stats from the limit breaks. But just for quick first impressions here, clearly it's not a big enough difference to have made this consistently higher, given that we actually got slightly lower damage this time. Alright, our last test is going to be now fighting a boss. But before we do that, I do want to point out that I set it up so both neither Cinderella or Summer Niece had elemental damage, but Modernia actually had elemental damage. I'm fighting wind enemies here, which makes this even crazier. Alright, so let's go ahead and fight a boss. Okay, so now we are in our boss battle, and again, nothing has changed here except that nobody has elemental damage. So no one is getting an elemental, you know, bonus on their damage. This is kind of best case scenario for everybody. Cinderella is getting to burst, Summer Niece is getting to burst, Modernia isn't bursting, which is better for a single target. Now it just remains to see who got the most damage. Now I will say, Niece is getting a reload buff from Crown, and Cinderella is getting an HP buff, which turns into an attack buff from Rouge. So Modernia is the only one that's not really getting buffed here, but this is a realistic case for any boss. Like, there's never really any specific thing that's going to buff Modernia. The only way you can really buff Modernia in a normal, like, meaningful way in a boss fight is just by increasing attack, like with Leader, which would just apply to everybody, anyway. So just keep that in mind. I'll tell you, I'm testing this live on stream, and I asked for votes on who would do the most damage, and 93% of people have said that they think Cinderella will do the most damage. Let's see what the results are. Oh my god. Dude, it's not even close. It's... Cinderella just mopped the floor with everybody. That is insane damage. What is happening? Like, that is just... Dude, she's like 3 tiers above them in this damage. Okay, this is just one test, okay? So, you know, don't start posting like Sparks said that Modernia is trash or something like that, okay? This is only one test. This is first impressions. You know, I will be doing detailed testing in multiple modes, multiple squads, you know, trying different comps that we would potentially realistically be doing in like solo raids. There's a lot to be done here, a lot of factors and more things that can be tested out. And that will come, you know, with time. I can't like get that all out tonight. And I'm sure all of the internet is testing Cinderella at this point as well. But first impressions say Cinderella is cracked. Like bananas. That is insane. Cinderella is beautiful. Her damage is beautiful. Pull for her. Get a copy if at all possible. Invest in her. It is worth it. She is extremely strong. However, it does look like getting multiple copies of her is not a big deal. So at least she's like budget friendly in that manner. So you can hang on to your resources to pull for Grave as well. All right. Make sure you give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more nikke content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream. Oh, and right as the video is ending, Grimjaw has gifted 20 cultured student memberships. All right, thank you for the support, guys. I'll catch you guys later.